Is your business protected against the threat of malicious litigation and frivolous lawsuits? Are you sinking company profits into marketing campaigns that do nothing to contribute to the growth of your business? Bottled Business Sense provides practical business perspectives that uniquely emphasize both legal and media marketing strategies to protect and ensure the longevity of your business. And whether you're trying to provide a startup business with some level of stability or an established business with foolproof asset and estate protection, or simply attempting to get a better return for your business marketing dollars, Bill Bernard and Rick Moscoso will expose potential pitfalls to ensure the security and growth of your business, free from unwanted expense and the threat of litigation. You'll learn how to implement marketing and protection tools equal to those used by today's most successful corporations. Let's join Bill and Rick for today's Bottled Business Sense show.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Today's Tuesday here on the Bottled Business Sense show. I hope everyone's doing well. Excited to get rolling here. We are talking about the role of a POLST in estate planning. And Bill will definitely expand on that acronym. But just wanted to welcome all of our new viewers and listeners here to the show. And welcome all our returners. We have a whole myriad of information we're going to share with you over the next several months. We are coming up on almost year 6 here on the Bottle Business Sense show, and we're really excited about that. So with that being said, I want to introduce Bill, my partner on the other side of the screen there. Welcome,
yes. Bill. Hey, how you doing, Rick? Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. We haven't been on in a little while. Rick mentioned a POLST. It's capital P, capital O, capital L, capital S, capital T. And we're going to talk about the role of a POLST in estate planning. And really all it stands for is a physician order for life-sustaining treatment. A physician order for life-sustaining treatment. And we call it a POLST. It could vary from state to state in terms of what it's actually called. But really what it is an option for people with a serious illness that is likely to get worse over time, people with some sort of a frailty like heart disease or cancer, whose health professionals would frankly not be surprised if the individual died within a short period of time, maybe a year, maybe a little longer. But this vehicle makes sure that decisions about the care at the end of life are written as medical orders that healthcare providers must follow. Now, you've probably heard of this in other forms or with other terminology within the estate planning field, and I'm going to refer to those in a minute, because a POLST encompasses those type of healthcare directives. So we'll get a little more specific as to what a POLST actually is in a minute. But suffice it to say that it should list medical care people who, given their health condition, it includes decisions for pulmonary resuscitation, CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR. If your heart stops, what's going to happen? This was a recent example I can give you for my mother. My mother was 99 years old. She passed away in October of 2019. And there was a lot of discussion between her physicians and myself as to whether or not we would want to resuscitate her if her heart stopped. Now, she was 99 years old, and her mind was kind of going in and out, and we didn't want to have her resuscitated if you pass away at that age after living a great full life. Not to mention the fact that her bones were so frail, if you gave her CPR, you'd probably crush her chest. So, it just wasn't feasible. It wasn't in the cards. But these are the types of things that you want to discuss, and these are the types of things that are put in a POLST. Without a POLST, for example, emergency care providers generally must provide medical treatment to keep people alive. So they're going to give CPR when maybe you wouldn't prefer it. And not to mention the fact that the person who's ill might not prefer it. Not every POLST is the same. You remember, you need to be specific as to what you put in it. It's highly specialized as to your needs, well, I should say the needs you're going to provide for the sick person. And remember, you can change your mind about the care that this person is going to receive with their permission, assuming they're competent. But you can also do a POLST, obviously, for yourself. And during the course of your life, you're planning ahead should something happen to you where you're going to be in need of CPR at some point, or some sort of, you might have some sort of medical condition that might be terminal. So you can plan ahead with your own POLST, and you can always revoke or change whatever you put in your POLST. Okay? So that's important to remember. And now I want to just briefly tell you, before we end the show, about the two types of written documents called advance directives that essentially fall within this field of POLST or POLSTs. Again, POLST standing for physician orders for life-sustaining treatment. The first one you have heard of, I'm sure, a living will, which specifies your decisions for treatments and life-sustaining measures, such as a mechanical breathing tube for feeding or resuscitation or ventilation. In other words, if you have an estate plan, a trust, you should have as part of that trust package a living will, which specifies your healthcare directives. When I was talking earlier about a POLST, that can be done separately. Now, I don't advise you going out and getting a POLST without having a trust package, which would then provide for a living will. But if you're not going to do it, and you're concerned most of all and only for some reason about what might happen to you should you become incapacitated physically, then you at least want to go out and get a POLST. You can get a physician order for life-sustaining treatment if you get a trust package, which includes your living trust, and as part of that trust package, you will get a living will, which does essentially the same type of thing as a POLST does individually. So a living will is a advance directive. The other type of advance directive that you get when you get a trust package and a corresponding living will is a durable power of attorney for healthcare. This is for naming a healthcare proxy, who is a person who makes choices for you when you cannot. So you have the living will, which specifies certain things that you want done, but you also want the healthcare attorney of a power of attorney for healthcare to name the person that you want to make other medical decisions for you should it not involve something that's going to end your life. You may become incapacitated for some reason, even temporarily, for over a period of months or years or days. And healthcare decisions will need to be made in terms of what your treatment's going to be. You want to have a healthcare proxy. That person is going to be named in the durable power of attorney for healthcare. That is called an advance directive. And the living will, which specifies the specifics of what you want done under certain conditions for you, that is also a advance directive. And that typically deals with things like life-sustaining measures should you become close to death. So you've got the two advance directives, a living will and a durable power of attorney for healthcare, which is typically always provided for you or should be provided for you in a package when you get a living trust or an estate plan. And then, of course, you have the POLST, POLST, which stands for physician orders for life-sustaining treatment, which also is an option for you to consider at some point in time. So I wanted to point that out. Estate planning is a wonderful vehicle to plan for what's going on in your life currently, as well as what's going to happen when you pass. Consider it, think about it, and make sure you have one long before it becomes too late to get one. Okay?
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Bill. This is a very important topic that we're talking about. We have a number of different videos we've done in the past in regards to estate planning, but better yet, Bill has a lot of information on an estate website that we created a little bit ago called Protect Your Estate 365. Check it out. There's a lot of resource videos there. And Bill, why don't you share a little bit more about what we've done?
Yeah, that's, it's a unique kind of a site because it's got drop down questions. So you can look at a question essential to estate planning. I've covered most of the areas, in fact, almost all of the areas that would become critical for people to know about when they have questions about estate planning. You can use a drop-down box to pick a question, and then there's an answer underneath it. Or you can go watch videos, which are on there, very short videos, usually about 2 to 2.5 minutes each, that explain a lot of the things that are in the drop-down boxes. So you have the option of doing either one or both. And it's an estate plan that is provided for you with a very, very, very convenient and really economical price. And it covers the entire estate plan that you can get, which is your living will, your trust, your powers of attorney for health care and for assets, your pour-over wills, your trust certification, your trust assignment, your personal property list, the whole thing that you really should have when you have an estate plan. And the unique selling feature of this plan is not just the price, and I'll let you go and look at what that is because you're pretty astounded as when you see it. But more importantly, it's the same plan I have for my family. And candidly, if an attorney can say, I'm going to give you the estate plan that I have for my family, then that pretty much says it all in terms of what his confidence is in that estate plan. Now, you can get various specialties inserted in your estate plan for your specific needs, which obviously, depending on what they are and how complicated they are, will affect the general overall price. But if you need a standard revocable trust that has everything you would typically need in an estate plan, then that's where you ought to go. And it's protectyourestate365.com, but the URL can also be reached by putting in PYE365.com. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yes, and so I want you guys to be aware of that. But this whole stuff that we bring to you, Rick. It's important to digest it and to understand that in order to do anything you want to accomplish in life, you have to put in a little time, sit down, understand it. And once you do, you're excited about wanting to do it rather than just hearing me lecture on it. Go check it out. I mean, it's free information. If nothing else, you become a more educated person by consuming more knowledge and knowing and understanding things that you didn't know before. Okay? So that's why we're here, right?
That's right. Well, that's a great point.
It is, if I do say so myself. And where else can we be reached, Rick, on social media?
Oh, absolutely. You can reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. Just use the keyword Bottle Business Sense Show. You can also see our previous episodes, all nicely categorized for you at bottledbusinesssenseshow.com, or even just drop us a line at bottledbusinesssenseshow@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Say hi. Let us know where you're from. And if you have any particular topics of interest you'd like to hear Bill discuss as it pertains to his expertise, drop us a line and we'll see what we can do for future episodes. So
yeah, that's a great point. Because if somebody has a special request, we can certainly accommodate that under most circumstances. So that's a great point.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Bill, for your expertise. Everyone, thanks for joining us, and we will see you on the next episode of the Bottle Business Sense Show. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.